This is a full story. Puppy wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. After dating my aloof professor boyfriend for 3 months, we had barely held hands, let alone kissed or hugged. Everyone said our relationship was superficial, until one day, I got drunk and accidentally kissed Rockey, and unlocked his inner thoughts. Asterisk.
Oh no.
My baby kissed me first. Asterisk. Why is she so soft and smells so good? She didn't even let me hold her hand today. Sob sob. Does she not love me anymore? Turns out my boyfriend isn't just clingy, he's also a certified jealous type. Asterisk.
Oh no.
My baby kissed me first. Asterisk. I froze. That voice, it sounded like my boyfriend, Rockey, but he wasn't speaking aloud. Could this be his inner thoughts? I stood there stunned, only to hear another thought. Asterisk. Why did she stop? Her lips are so soft. I want to nibble on them. Asterisk. Rockey's breathing grew shallow. His Adam's apple bobbed slightly as he bent down and wrapped his arms around my waist. Haley. Before I could react, his lips descended. Soft nibbles turned into a deep entanglement, as if he wanted to consume me whole. It was our first kiss since we started dating. His slightly embarrassed inner voice drifted to me again. I want to devour my baby. I shut my eyes, only to feel my body lifted off the ground. Moments later, I was sitting on the counter. Rockey cupped the back of my head with one hand. The faint scent of his shower gel enveloped me. I can't breathe. I pressed my hands against his waist and tried to speak, only to hear his sexy chuckle. Haley, let me teach you how to breathe. He gently pinched my cheek, a smile playing on his lips. She's so innocent. Hearing this, I flushed. Who would have thought that my usually gentle and scholarly boyfriend harbored such thoughts? Haley, you're blushing. Rockey tilted my chin up to meet his gaze. His deep, mesmerizing eyes had a way of making me let my guard down. Rockey, you've changed, I said in a soft, slightly sulky voice. My lips were swollen from his kisses as I turned away to tease him. Haley, I've wanted to do this since the day we got together. I just didn't want to scare you. Rockey pulled me into his arms, his long fingers gently stroking my back like he was soothing a child. But from now on, I won't hold back anymore. He bit my earlobe lightly, his voice husky and low. My face grew even redder as I tilted my head to meet his eyes. Before I could speak again, he leaned down to kiss me once more. It was as if he was determined to make up for the 3 months of missed intimacy. Passionate, lingering, and intense. Her waist is so soft. I leaned against his chest, my eyes half closed as I tried to catch my breath. His large hand easily encircled my waist, stroking it lightly. Rockey, you're a university professor. You need to be dignified, I urged him, worried he might lose control. I know. He nodded solemnly, but his thoughts betrayed him again. Asterisk. She's so innocent. I can't bear to make her cry. Asterisk. I widened my eyes, suddenly feeling a bit chilled. The warm and gentle boyfriend I thought I knew was completely different from this seductive and shameless version in front of me. Had my boyfriend been swapped with someone else? To confirm, I pinched his handsome face. Asterisk. Baby touched me. You can touch anywhere you want. Asterisk. Rockey leaned closer to my hand like a kitten seeking affection. Satisfied that it was still him, I slowly withdrew my hand. Asterisk. Why did she stop? Does she think I'm no longer attractive? Asterisk. Hearing his slightly deflated thoughts, I instinctively wrapped my arms around his firm waist. As expected, his mood brightened instantly. Since that day, Rockey stopped holding back at school. He'd hold my hand openly, pull me into his arms, and even sneak kisses in secluded spots. Because we were both teachers, we had to be mindful of appearances. But inevitably, some students caught us. Whoa, Professor Tony and Professor Haley are so cute together. I knew it. They always pretended to be strangers at school, but we're in college. PDA is fine. Now I want a boyfriend too. I buried my face in Rockey's chest, gasping slightly as I playfully scolded him. See, we got caught by the students. So what if they found out? They all know we're dating. Kissing and hugging is normal, he replied nonchalantly, his hand resting naturally on my back. Then I heard his inner voice again. Asterisk. Good. Now all those pesky admirers can back off. Asterisk. I hummed in annoyance. So that's why he was so nonchalant. Did he not trust me at all? Sure, I was young, only in my 20s, having completed my PhD overseas at a young age. But that didn't mean I'd get involved with students. Let's go. I'll take you home. Rockey took my hand and my teaching materials, leading me out of the campus along the lakeside path. Though we'd only been dating for 3 months, we weren't living together, so he bought the apartment next door to mine, with just the two of us on the same floor. It was almost like semi-cohabitation. Asterisk. Damn this door. When can I live with my baby properly? Asterisk. Hearing this thought as I unlocked my door, I froze. Did he want to live together? Haley, come over for dinner later, he said before leaving, smiling as he reminded me. I nodded, then heard his inner voice cheer. I'll cook something amazing to win her heart even more. After he left, I couldn't help but laugh. What was this? Some kind of hidden charm? When I arrived at his place later, the table was full of delicious-looking dishes. Why did you make so much food? I asked, surprised. Rockey didn't answer but thought to himself. Asterisk, she's so beautiful. I wish I could hold her while sleeping. Asterisk. I choked on his thoughts and quickly turned to cough. Alarmed, he rushed over with a glass of warm water. Take your time. Here, drink some water, he said softly. I took a sip, feeling better, but my heart kept racing. She smells so good after her bath. Hearing this, I forced myself to stay calm. Dinner that night was unexpectedly challenging. I'm full. I put down my chopsticks and looked at him. All right, get some rest, he said with a smile, clearing the table. But inside, his thoughts were a torrent. Why is she leaving? Doesn't she want to stay with me? Am I not attractive enough? I glanced at him, sleeves rolled up, his strong wrists moving with precision as he cleaned. The unbuttoned collar of his shirt revealed a glimpse of his collarbone. How could anyone resist? I stared blankly, lifting my gaze to Rockey's face. His features were sharp and refined, as though sculpted by a divine hand. Asterisk, baby's staring at me. Stay composed, asterisk. Rockey kept reminding himself. Suppressing a laugh, I stood up and followed Rockey into the kitchen. Rockey, do you want to sleep in the next room? Time seemed to freeze. Rockey didn't reply, but his hands trembled slightly. The porcelain plate in his hand slipped into the sink, colliding with the other dishes in a crisp clatter. Haley, are you serious? Rockey's eyes widened as he decisively placed the bowl into the dishwasher. Of course, I nodded, leaning lightly against the doorframe, my eyes glinting with amusement. Rockey's Adam's apple bobbed. His movements quickened as he meticulously organized the kitchen tools. Haley, why don't you go over and wait for me? Don't just stand here, it's tiring. Rockey approached, gently tucking a stray lock of hair behind my ear. Asterisk, I'll clean up, use her favorite essential oil, and make myself irresistible. She won't be able to resist, asterisk. Staring at him in disbelief, I thought, asterisk, what happened to my gentle and refined professor? This is clearly a flamboyant peacock in disguise, asterisk. All right, I murmured, letting him pinch my cheek before I turned and walked away. While Rockey was up prepping, I made a point of tidying up the guest room. On second thought, he might actually succeed in tempting me. So, for safety's sake, I decided he'd better sleep in the guest room. Sure enough, Rockey entered the room a while later, wearing a loose white pajama set and holding a white pillow. Without hesitation, he headed straight for my bedroom. Haley. Hearing him call me, I quickly responded. I'm in the guest room. Still clutching his pillow, Rockey followed my voice, puzzled to find me arranging pale bedding on the guest bed. Haley, why are you setting up the guest room? Suddenly, he clutched his pillow tighter. Is she really going to leave me alone in the guest room? I nodded inwardly. Yes, that's exactly the plan. Haley, didn't you say I could sleep with you? Rockey's voice grew increasingly aggrieved as he tugged on my sleeve by the bed. Yeah. The master bedroom and guest room are next to each other. That counts as sleeping together. Rockey's dark eyes deepened as he sat on the bed, staring at me. Trust a literature professor to play semantics. You know my language skills aren't great, and you still tricked me. His accusatory tone made me laugh. Seeing his pitiful, deceived expression, I grew curious about his inner thoughts. Asterisk, so close, yet so far. This is torture, asterisk. Asterisk, should I sneak over at night? If she asks, I'll say I was sleepwalking, asterisk. Asterisk, brilliant plan. I'm doing it, asterisk. Hearing his thoughts loud and clear, I mentally gave him a thumbs up. Professor Tony, no sneaking into beds at night, okay? Leaning close to his ear, I teased, my tone playful. Just as I straightened up, Rockey grabbed my wrists and pinned me down with a swift motion. Then when can I sneak into your bed? Rockey smelled faintly of gardenias, my favorite. The top two buttons of his pajama shirt were undone, revealing his pale collarbone. I swallowed hard. I want to bite him. You didn't used to be this, forward. My voice was barely audible, my mind drifting back to when we first started dating. He was polite, gentle, and refined. I admit, I initially agreed to date him because of his handsome face. But after hearing his thoughts, I realized it was all part of his plan. Alright, I'll be honest. I liked you back when you were studying in the States. I found out we're from the same city and that our parents know each other. So, I had my mom plant the idea in Aunt Mary's head, leading to that blind date. Rockey's voice was clear and pleasant, like a babbling brook, pure and refreshing. Blushing, I pressed on, how were you so sure I'd date you? Plenty of people asked me out that day. Ha! I asked your roommate. You like guys like me. Aunt Mary's other matches weren't your type. Smugness crept into his tone. Confident, aren't we? I thought, meeting his dark gaze with a faint smile. So, can I sneak into your bed now? Rockey didn't forget his goal, nuzzling against my neck with none of his usual aloofness. You're that eager to sleep with me? Yep, let's see how you behave. I gently pushed him off, but he retaliated by playfully biting me. It wasn't harsh, more of a teasing nibble that lingered, paired with a soft lick. Asterisk baby's lips are so pretty, red and kissable. Is that lemon lip balm? Sweet, asterisk. As he lifted me onto his lap, I heard his ecstatic, exploratory thoughts. My heart raced. Asterisk so soft. If only I could cuddle her to sleep, asterisk. Out of breath from his kisses, I bit his collarbone in retaliation, leaving a faint mark before running off to the guest room. That night, Rockey stayed in the guest room, no sneaking around. After that night, Rockey gradually moved all his things into my house. I didn't mind. After all, the house is big enough, so let him do as he pleases. But why did he hang his clothes in my walk-in closet? We can't sleep together at night, so can't our clothes hang together? Rockey replied confidently, and I was left speechless. All right, let him be. This afternoon, I had a public elective class on traditional culture, so I grabbed the car keys and left the house first, leaving him to arrange things by himself. Teacher Haley, why didn't you come to school with Teacher Tony today? When my colleagues saw me entering the office alone, their eyes sparkled with curiosity. It seemed that word had spread throughout the school about me and Rockey, especially now that he no longer held back. He has something to do today. I didn't offer much explanation, sat down at my desk, and started working on students' assignments and points. Suddenly, the dean gently knocked on my desk and smiled warmly. Teacher Haley, this is our new intern from the college. The other teachers are busy, so could you help guide him? I looked up at the intern beside the dean. He looked to be under 30, dressed in a sharp black suit, holding a folder, and appeared very refined. All right, I nodded. Since my research goals for this semester were already met, I didn't feel much pressure. Guiding an intern wouldn't be hard. Teacher Haley, this one is also a top student from your school. The dean smiled broadly as he introduced him. My name is Serena. I've heard a lot about you, senior, and I feel honored to work alongside you. Serena flashed a brilliant smile and began tidying up the empty desk across from me. I didn't pay much attention to his words. After organizing my lesson plan, I checked the time and prepared to head to the classroom. Senior, may I follow you to observe? At that moment, Serena put down his laptop and quickly followed me, speaking with a smile that made it hard to refuse. So, I agreed for him to follow me to the classroom. The lecture hall was filled with over 100 students. In a prestigious university, it's rare to see students playing on their phones or fooling around. Most of them actively participated in the class. Serena sat in the front row. Occasionally, I would glance over at him, feeling something a little off. The 1.5-hour public class went by quickly. I was packing my books on the podium when the students began leaving in an orderly manner. At that moment, Serena came up and picked up the student attendance sheet that had fallen on the floor. Thank you. I took the sheet and placed it in my folder. Serena then slowly spoke. Senior, your lecture was excellent. I was so absorbed that I've just come back to my senses. Really? Thank you for the compliment. I chatted with Serena about teaching techniques. When I looked toward the door again, I spotted Rocky's tall figure. What are you doing here? I smiled in surprise, picked up my lesson plan, and walked over to him. Serena turned around, looking at Rockey, and said modestly, "This must be Professor Tony. I've heard so much about you." Rockey firmly took my hand, his voice deep and cold, his eyes narrowed, carrying a dangerous aura. "I'm here to take my girlfriend home. Feel free to do as you wish." After Rockey said that, he took my hand and left. He didn't say a word along the way, but his mind was racing. Was my baby just laughing and chatting with that little green tea? Does that mean she doesn't love me anymore? I think my tone wasn't great earlier. Did I snap at my baby? But I couldn't control it. When I saw Serena trying to shake hands with my baby, I stayed silent the whole way home. Once we got back, I took the initiative to approach Rockey. "What's wrong, Haley?" Rockey was tying his apron and preparing dinner. I went to the kitchen, hugged him from behind, and pressed my face against his back. "Did you get upset this afternoon?" Serena is an intern the dean asked me to guide. Don't misunderstand. I deliberately softened my voice, and my hand accidentally brushed something hard. Wow, abs. Baby, if I keep going, I won't be able to hold back. Hearing Rocky's muffled groan, I quickly released my hands and waited for him to speak. I'm not misunderstanding. I just feel like Serena is interested in our Haley. Rockey set the fruits and vegetables down, wiped his hands with a paper towel, then pinched my cheek, explaining patiently, though his tone didn't match his words. It's not like it's obvious. Serena's look was like she wanted to devour my baby. My heart skipped a beat. Was it that obvious? Then I'll ask the dean tomorrow to assign a different teacher to guide him. Seeing that Rockey was upset, I spoke directly. Really? I nodded sincerely. Do you trust me? After that day, I really cut off ties with Serena and had a more experienced professor guide him. I justified it as, the professor has a higher rank, so you'll definitely learn more from him. Serena could only accept it helplessly. On an ordinary Friday, neither Rockey nor I had any classes, so we decided to go to the beach together. Baby, could you wear sunscreen? The wind at the beach can be quite cold. No. I stubbornly walked ahead in a spaghetti strap dress, not paying attention to Rocky's words. Again, I could hear his inner voice. What should I do if my baby won't listen? If she gets sick, it will be really uncomfortable. Should I keep asking? But what if she gets angry? And baby looks so beautiful. So many guys on the beach are staring at her. I want to gouge their eyes out. Don't they have girlfriends? Look, still looking. I couldn't help but laugh. Rockey is really funny. Rockey, come here. I stopped and turned around, looking at him thoughtfully. Today, he was rarely not dressed in a suit, wearing a casual white t-shirt and cargo-style pants, looking very sunny. What's up, Haley? I tiptoed, leaned in, and kissed his chin. Baby kissed me again. She must think I look handsome today. Rockey's mind went into overdrive. I saw two beautiful women staring at you from the left. Maybe it's time to assert some ownership. I smiled faintly, my lips curving into a shallow smile. So, this is how it can be done, Rockey thought, and naturally, he wrapped his arm around my waist, cupped the back of my head, and leaned down to kiss me. This deep kiss was both passionate and consuming, not allowing me any room to pull away. There were so many people, I was still a little shy. I gripped Rockey's t-shirt tightly, showing just how nervous I was, and finally, he pulled away. Baby's lips are so soft. I want to kiss them forever. My cheeks flushed, lips slightly pink, breathing lightly. I can guarantee, if Rockey lets go, I definitely can't resist. Stop saying that. I buried my face in Rockey's chest and wrapped my arms around his waist. He had always kept such thoughts to himself before, but now, he was openly saying them in such a daring manner. Rockey and I walked around the beach for an hour before driving back home, just as he had predicted. I had a fever. After washing up in the evening, I started to feel chills. Tonight, we were supposed to watch a movie together, so I wrapped myself in a blanket and went to join him. Baby, it's not a horror movie. Are you really scared? Rockey hugged me, not noticing anything unusual. The air conditioner was on in the movie room, and he covered us both with the blanket. I unconsciously leaned closer to him. Baby, why are you so hot? Rockey quickly checked my hands, face, and other parts of me. I shook my head. I don't know. How do you not know if you're sick? Rockey quickly carried me to the bedroom and covered me with a comforter. I'll get a thermometer. I lay in the bed, watching him leave the room. A while later, he returned. Lift your arm. I was a little dazed, still in my pajamas, but it felt empty inside. Then you do it. Rockey's thoughts revealed he had figured it out. I adjusted the mercury thermometer, then Rockey pulled me into his arms, which felt much more comfortable. Unconsciously, my head began to feel heavy. Haley, Haley. I heard Rockey repeatedly calling my name. I'm sleepy. 392 degrees Fahrenheit, baby. I'm taking you to the hospital. The moment I heard hospital, I struggled. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want a shot. Woo-woo. I'm scared. Don't be scared, baby. I'm here. You have a high fever. We need to go to the hospital. Rockey gently coaxed me, and in the end, he carried me downstairs and drove me to the city hospital. The smell of disinfectant made me nervous, so I clung to Rockey, and he draped a small blanket over me. Be good. I groggily opened my eyes, feeling cold sweat on my forehead and redness in my eyes. The nurse came to insert in 4. I instinctively tried to pull my hand away. Don't be scared. Rockey covered my eyes. I only felt a sharp pain in my hand. Just sleep, and you'll be better. Is your head spinning? I closed my eyes, listening to Rockey quietly whispering in my ear, and felt my eyelids grow heavier. When I woke up, I was already back home. That illness felt like a real dream, but my head was still a bit foggy, and my body felt weak. Rockey had brought me home from the hospital. He knew I didn't like the smell of hospital disinfectant. I put on my shoes and got out of bed. As soon as I opened the bedroom door, I smelled a strong aroma of corn and rib soup. Rocky, baby, do you feel better? You still had a low fever after the 4 last night. Rocky was still wearing his pajamas, with noticeable dark circles under his eyes. I knew he must have taken care of me all night. I feel better. Rocky stayed with me to finish breakfast. I drank the soup he ladled for me, keeping my gaze fixed on him. When he went to clean up the kitchen, I finally spoke. How about I keep you company and rest? Keep me company? Is it okay to sleep with me? Rocky casually asked. I nodded. Sure. What did my baby just say? She said she'll sleep with me? Finally, the wait is over. Before I could even finish the thought, Rocky had washed his hands, threw the apron on the counter, and turned to pick me up. Hey, don't rush. I wrapped my arms around Rocky's neck, feeling a bit speechless. But just sleeping with him, not doing anything, was it really worth getting this excited over? Rushing. Rocky didn't carry me to the guest room, but walked straight to the master bedroom. He gently placed me on the bed, then unbuttoned his pajamas. I was wrapped in a blanket, feeling a bit confused. What I meant by sleeping wasn't a verb. I calmly spoke. Rocky chuckled, sliding into bed beside me, holding me close. Don't worry, I'm not that beastly. I don't eat sick patients. My face turned red, the first time I touched his muscles on such a large scale. I was a little dazed. Rocky's body was amazing, slim in clothes, but muscular without them. His body had an indescribable beauty that made my heart race. Baby, relax. Rocky tightened his hold around my waist. I rested my head on his arm, inhaling his fresh scent. It was the scent of body wash, very pleasant. I felt less tense. But then, Rocky's thoughts were hard to ignore. Baby's waist is so slender, so soft and fragrant. When can I taste it? I really want to sleep with baby every night. I'm teasing her like this. How come she hasn't touched my abs? 8-pack abs? Wow. I froze. 8-pack abs. Really? My hand instinctively moved from his waist to feel. Wow, he really does have 8. Baby's hands are so soft. I couldn't keep touching him, though. A reaction was starting to form. I quickly stopped, lying still in Rocky's arms, closing my eyes. Why stop touching? Got tired of it? I murmured to myself, it's not that I don't want to, it's that I'm afraid to. What if he really does devour me? Rocky, rest well. I softly spoke. After that, Rocky made me realize what it truly means. It's easy to invite the gods, but hard to send them away. He never slept in the guest room again, and every night, he would come to my bed, wrapped in blankets, and wouldn't leave. He called it, I'm warming the bed for you. I had no choice but to give in, unable to argue or protest. Baby, can we, tonight? Rocky's hand was restless, slipping under my nightshirt, instinctively reaching up. I huffed in annoyance, my eyelashes a bit damp from Rocky's long kiss earlier. Baby, you're really too much. I squeezed the pillow, feeling my lips swollen, with the distinct feeling of being kissed and bitten. I'm sorry, Rocky quickly apologized. Tomorrow is National Day, we have 7 days off. The timing is perfect. Rocky whispered close to my ear, his voice soft yet sexy, sending tingles through me. I'm scared, I honestly replied, my voice small as I slightly closed my eyes. I'll be gentle. Rocky rolled over, pinning me beneath him, and kissed my brow. Good girl, don't be scared, relax. I opened my eyes and clearly saw the desire in Rocky's gaze, his eyes slightly red. 1, 2. He slowly unbuttoned my clothes. I bit my lip, not wanting to make that shy sound, but I couldn't stop myself as Rocky pried my mouth open. Kissing. Good girl, don't hold back. I liked hearing it. Baby's voice sounds so sweet. Good girl, don't cry. The more she cries, the more I want her. I don't want it anymore. I sobbed, tears flowing as I heard his rough thoughts. Good girl, just one last time. So good. One last time, liar. By the time it was really the last, I had already lost consciousness. When I woke up the next afternoon, I felt sore and exhausted. Rocky, I didn't want to talk to him for now. At that moment, the bedroom door opened, and Rocky, looking refreshed, came in wearing home clothes to help me get up and wash up. I didn't say a word, just enjoying his care. Still angry? Rocky naturally noticed my frustration. I didn't respond, signaling a cold war. He must have tired me out last night, my eyes swollen from crying. There were so many marks on my body. They should fade in a few days, right? Rocky laid me back on the bed and then brought over some ointment to apply. It was cool and had a faint medicinal scent, but I didn't resist, even as he started to lift my nightgown. Get away. I shrank to the other side of the bed, my voice accusatory. Baby, it's medicine. Rocky explained seriously. Last night, I was too rough, I hurt you. I tried to avoid it, but Rocky relentlessly pulled me into his arms. Baby, Baby, it was my fault. I won't do it again. It was my first time and I didn't know how to be gentle. Rockey buried his face in my shoulder, sincerely apologizing. My heart was already soft, and facing Rockey, I was easily coaxed. After applying the ointment, he carried me downstairs for lunch, feeding me spoonful by spoonful like I was a child. Since that night, Rockey started his nightlife, but he did tone it down a bit. By the beginning of the next spring, we had our wedding and registered our marriage. If nothing unexpected happened, something unexpected did happen. Rockey, who was always well prepared, made a miscalculation less than a month after our marriage. When did this happen? When Rockey saw my medical checkup report, he froze completely. How would I know? But it's definitely yours. I lazily leaned on the sofa, holding a plate of strawberries, eating them slowly. I knew it. I had been feeling so tired lately, and it turns out, I'm pregnant. But I always wore protection. Rockey picked me up and placed me on his lap, gently resting his large hand on my stomach, rubbing it softly. It happened a few days before the wedding. Don't you remember? I reminded him kindly, my face wearing a deathly smile. That day was my birthday, and I bumped into an old high school classmate. We had a drink and chatted for a bit, and Rockey saw us. That night, I felt like Rockey was going to kill me in bed. I still remember how wild he was that night. You're mine. We're married now. Who was that guy? Did you think he was trying to steal you away? The more he said, the more intense his actions became. That time, he was probably really angry and forgot everything. Rockey was a little frustrated and kept pressing his head against mine. I'm sorry you weren't ready to be a mom yet. It's my fault. I shouldn't have acted on impulse. Rockey apologized over and over, his eyes reddened. I'm not mad. As long as you're here, I'm not afraid. But you can't cry. I turned around, wrapped my arms around Rockey's neck, and smiled slightly. Although I was a bit angry at the time, it passed quickly, and besides, having a child together is such a happy thing. I'll take care of you. Rockey urgently kissed me, and this time, I wasn't as shy and clumsily kissed him back. I love you. After a long while, Rockey gently kissed my forehead. I smiled and kissed his forehead. I love you too. The end. If you like Puppy's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.